Hey guys, what's going on? It's Derek from Derek's Horror Stuff, and today we're going to the Horror Sideshow Market, brought to you by New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. Now, before I jump into the video, I just have to give a special shout out to my patrons. Click the link in the description below to become a patron today, and have your name featured in the beginning of all my newest videos. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. Hey guys, what's going on? It is Derek from Derek's Horror Stuff, and I just got back from the Horror Sideshow Market in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Now, the advertisement said there'd be 50 plus vendors there, as well as 4 different guests. The guests were Dave Sheridan, Leslie Easterbrook, and there were 2 others I can't quite remember the name of, but I do know Leslie had to cancel because she had problems with her back, so she canceled last minute yesterday. They replaced her, but they replaced her with somebody I'm not sure of the name of. I know it's a very, low down on the list celebrity guest, but nevertheless, they did replace her. The only people I needed to get autographs from there were Leslie and Dave, so with Leslie being out, I just needed Dave. So we took the trip down, whatever you want to say, and, the drive itself wasn't too bad. We get there, we park, we go up, we get in line, and, everything's going pretty smooth. We get in, I bought my tickets, I prepaid them, so everything's going all right. We get in there to look around. Now, I'm really excited because if you're like me and you collect horror stuff, you know that there's not quite that many shops that are targeted directly at us, meaning, for example, my wife collects Star Wars. And pretty much any collectible store you go to or any toy store you go to is going to have some sort of Star Wars toys. It's very easy to find. It's not all going to be rare, the good stuff, but you're going to find it. Horror stuff just is a subsection of like a subsection. So it's a little bit more difficult. And when it comes to stuff like this, I get really excited because it's a place for all of us horror fans to find horror items. It's a marketplace just for us. And I get really, really stoked about that. I actually brought a bunch of money with me to try to make this work, so in case I found any cool grails or anything like that. But we go in, there's supposed to be 50 plus vendors, and we see maybe, 25, 30, I didn't count, but definitely seems like about half, if not a little bit more than half, of what we were expecting. So I know that's to be, that could be forgiven because of the times that we're in with COVID and the restrictions. It was outdoors because of those restrictions, so it was supposed to ease it a little bit, but it just wasn't a full house with the vendors. Nothing against the vendors that were there. They were, they had great products, just nothing I was particularly looking for, which kind of bummed me out. It was kind of underwhelming for me. The only reason I say that is because I'm, the stuff I collect. I collect action figures, toys, signed posters, things like that, and there wasn't really much of that. More so, it was just like printed t-shirts and the wood that has like the etching in it and stuff like that. So lots of cool stuff, just nothing I really needed. So then I make my way over to the table with Dave, and there's like nobody there. There's one person at the table. And I brought my 2 posters with me to get signed, 2 Devil's Rejects posters. Now, Dave is not in the Devil's Rejects all that much, but he is in it, so I figured he would be good on the poster. So I bring both with me. My wife says, hey, you want to go over there and stop, get the autograph? There's nobody there. I was like, nah, we'll just circle around. Let me hit the rest of these vendors, and then we'll come back to Dave's tent here. So we circle around. I'm still, I'm increasingly more underwhelmed. There's just nothing for me there, which is kind of a bummer, and definitely not as many vendors as I was anticipating. So then we make our way back to Dave's table. Now there's a line, and Dave is a talker. He is just going on. People know him as Deputy Doofy from Scary Movie. So, he's doing that. He's posing with people doing the whole dumb thing from Deputy Doofy. So I wait there. Me and my wife are waiting there in line, and we're in line for 40 minutes, and we're about 4 people back. So we're not too far back, but we're in line for 40 minutes. The whole time I'm kind of in my head contemplating, do I need this autograph? Do I get this autograph? Is it worth waiting in line for? Well, at this point, I'm like 20 minutes in. I'm like, well, we're already here 20 minutes. There's 2 people in front of us. Let's just wait it out. Now, I know nothing about what the autograph price is going to be when I get there. I don't see any signage on the table that tells me the price. I just had to go off what I know. So I know generally when I got Leslie Easterbrook's autograph, I want to say that was 30 or 40 bucks. When I got Sid Haig's autograph, that was 10, but Sid is cheap. Was cheap, so you can't expect that from everyone. Bill Moseley charged me 40 bucks to get it on a poster. Diamond Dallas Page, I think, was about 40 bucks. So I was imagining Dave Sheridan being like, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks, something like that, 40 tops. But I was thinking more in the 20 to 30 range. So anyway, we finally make our way up there. And I get up to the guy. There's always a handler. So if you've ever been to a convention, there's always the guest sitting here and there's a handler. There's always the guest sitting here and there's a handler right next to them. The handler is normally the one that takes the money and gets you all situated, and then the star signs, you know, the stuff. So the handler calls me over and he's like, what do you have? And I said, I have 2 posters. And he says, okay, that's gonna be 60 bucks. So I dig out my wallet, I pull out, 60 bucks. And I go to hand it to him, and he says, well, no, you don't hand this to me, you hand this to Dave. I'm just here. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess we're all just here, really. What if we're nothing else, we're here. So I wait a little bit longer. Dave finishes up taking pictures, stuff like that. And I walk over, he says, okay, 2 posters. And I'm like, yeah, 2 posters. And I give him 60 bucks. And he says, okay, well, you get, with the 2 posters, you get 2 8x10s on the table signed, or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the way he worded it. And you get a photo op. And that's for 60 bucks. You get the extra photo and the photo op and the signature. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I give him the 60 bucks. And he's holding on to that. And then he's like, okay, well, what do you want? And I'm like, well, I guess I'll get this print right here. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to get a print. I guess I'll get this one. And he's like, okay, but he's looking at me just so weird. And I'm so confused. Like I'm like misunderstanding whatever's happening. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So what you're saying, I get 2 prints with like 2 signatures? I'm not getting it. Basically, and he's like, yeah, well, you took care of one, and now the other one, you have 2 posters. And I was like, what are you talking, like, in my head? And he's like, 2 posters, he's, $60 a piece. So $120 would have been the total to get 2 posters signed. And I had no idea what to do. My mind blew. Bruh. And it's nothing against him. It's just that was a really high price. To put that into perspective, when I met Robert Englund at Monster Mania, he was $100. Nobody knew that until the end when we were going to meet him, and everybody kind of freaked out that it was $100. But I mean, it's $100 for Robert Englund, who's like a legend. Okay, now granted, I still think that's kind of much, but it's it's $100. Then we got like people like Nick Castle. Nick Castle was the Shape in Halloween, $40 he charges. Like I said, Bill Moseley, $40 lead in the movie. Danielle Harris, I think she's $40 or $50 last time I saw her. So I mean, it just didn't seem worth the money to me. No offense to him as a person, but $60 per, just because it was on a poster and it was him, just didn't feel right to me. So he's at this point, he's holding my money, and he's like, it's $120, $60 a piece. I didn't know what to do, so I was like, all right, here, you give me that. So he gave my money back, and I was like, all right, I don't have enough money, so I gotta go. So I just got out of line and walked away, and I pretty much just beelined to the exit. It was a little bit embarrassing because my intention was to get the autograph, so I waited in line with my wife for 40 minutes in the sun. Got all the way up there and then turned around and was like, nah, I don't want to give my money back. But he didn't sign my stuff yet, so I didn't really need a refund per se. I just took the money back out of his hand. So I actually have some video footage of me meeting Dave here. So this is something my wife took on my phone, and I actually didn't even know she was taking it. I told her to take a picture when I got up there, but I didn't think at the time that she was filming this very awkward interaction. So when I show you this, I just want to preface it by saying this is cringeworthy material. I look at this, I hear this video, and I just cringe because I try to be a very cool person. On the outside, I'm very calm, collect, but on the inside, I'm just anxious all the time.
And although I seem relaxed, I'm actually incredibly tense at all times.
So, when stuff like this happens, when I get into a misunderstanding like this, my anxiety levels go from like here to like here so fast, especially when it's social anxiety. So, keep that in mind when you watch this video and see just how gut-wrenchingly cringy this is.
They also come with. If I get one of these ones, you can get 2. Okay. You want me to hold something for you? Well, here, you hold that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take that one.
Yes. So that's for one.
Oh, you said I guess okay?
Yeah, 60 each. Or you
Oh,
only,
60
you might only do it. Yeah.
Oh, posters 60 each. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you notice, my voice gets a little bit higher. I'm very confused. I don't know if you could hear everything, but just the misunderstanding is just in the air. And I didn't know what to do. I had to make a decision last minute, so I took my money and ran. But overall, you know, that was an awkward, like, you know, well, it sucked that it was a 40-minute wait, but it was an awkward, like, 20 seconds with a guy I'll probably never see again, so I wasn't too concerned about that. However, my wife and I, when we left, because this was such a bust, we hit a couple different toy stores in the New Jersey area. And I gotta say, a couple of them, you know, again, nothing good, but I did find one. It's a place I've been to before. I've talked about it before. It's called Pandoras Box. It is in New Jersey. It's worth checking out. The guys there are awesome. The products are awesome. It's a nice, clean, big store. I'm really a big fan of it. I find horror stuff there all the time. My wife finds Star Wars stuff, so it's usually a good place to go. But I did get a couple things there for less than what I would have paid for 2 of Dave's autographs. So let me show you guys what I got, because I'm pretty stoked. All right, now keep in mind, these are not horror. Believe it or not, I did not get any horror items today. You know, they might kind of get close to the mark, and you'll see what I mean in a second. But the first thing I found, the coolest thing I found, man, is this snake mask from Beetlejuice. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever had this. This came out in 1990, and I used to have this as a kid. It was probably my sister's. I don't remember, because she was born in the 80s. I was born early 90s, but I had this thing on all the time because I love Beetlejuice. And I gotta show you guys, it's already open, so I gotta show you how cool this thing is. Now, I'm an adult, so it's not really gonna fit me that well. It's made for kids, but take off my hat so you can see my bald chrome dome. So look at this thing, guys. This is neat. So this goes on your head. And then there's this cool part here. I think it's a snake, maybe. And what happens is you push this, right? Get closer. You push this down, and then the snakes pop up. Ah! Ah! So, you know, like I said, this goes on with straps. It doesn't quite fit my big ass head, but the nostalgia is there, man. This is such a cool piece.
Refrigerator Meg!
Now, this cost me $40, but it's worth every penny, man. I don't know how much it was when it came out. It might say on the box, but $40 is a steal in my opinion. I don't see it on the box, but this is really cool. And I bet you guys will remember this if you know, if you grew up in like the late 80s, early 90s like I did. This is a really cool one to have. So that, I was really excited to find that. They've had that sitting on their shelf for a little while, actually. I just never picked it up. And I did find 2 other cool items on the shelf that also brought back a lot of memories. So let me show you those. The first one is the mask. Now, this is a 2-in-1. 2-in-1 morphability. So I'll take a better photo of it here, a better video of it, so you don't get all this reflection and glare in it. But this is one figure that you can make multiple figures out of, and it's from the animated series The Mask. So I used to have this growing up, and I used to have these little pieces laying all over the place, and I remember it specifically. So seeing this was really, really cool, and it has a sticker on it that says 3 for $10 on sale. So these were 3 for $10 at one point. Not at this particular store, but at some store. And that's kind of cool to think about, because the mask stuff has gotten kind of expensive these days. As a matter of fact, everything I used to play with got expensive these days. I used to have an original Turbo Man doll.
Ta-ta, Turtle Man.
In the box and everything. That was really cool. That's worth like a couple $100 now. I used to have Small Soldiers toys, like so much stuff, man. And now I try to go back and look at it, and they're so expensive on eBay. So I guess there's all sorts of people looking for that nostalgia rush. And the second thing I got is also the mask. It's just another one of the sets. But man, it is awesome. These things are so cool. I paid $20 a piece. I really can't complain about that. And I am going to open them. It's cool that they're in these boxes, but stuff like this, I have to open it. So I will be opening these up. I don't know if I'll do it live or just in another video, but keep an eye out for that. And the very, very last thing on my agenda, I thought that I was done after the Horror Sideshow Market and the Pandora's Box haul, but there was still guys, I have no words for this. There was this cool thing waiting for me at home. Okay, my wife ordered something for me off Etsy, custom made, and she didn't tell me it was for me. She just said she ordered something, and she kept it a surprise this entire time. So I come home, there's a box here from Etsy. She hands it over to me, and I open it up, and I'm like, I'm not sure what this is. But guys, it is, all right, so it's behind me here, all right? It's behind me right up on this shelf, and I will show you a video of it a little closer here. And this is a light-up plaque, and it's presented to Derek's Horror Stuff for surpassing 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. This thing is awesome, man. This lights up different colors. You plug it in and just go from there. YouTube gives you plaques and things like that when you get to 100,000 subscribers and 1 million subscribers and so on and so forth. But they don't give you anything for 1,000. And, I don't really care about that. I understand that they don't give you anything for 1,000, but my wife thought it would be nice to get me something to honor that achievement. So I just need to give a special shout out, a special thank you to my beautiful, beautiful, loving wife, who I might piss off all the time, but I somehow she still loves me and she buys me this kind of shit. So thank you, baby. I love you. And that's all I got, guys. So let me know below what you think of the prices of Dave Sheridan's autograph. It seemed a little high for me, but maybe $60 is fair. I don't know. I think it wasn't in the movie that much. If it was a scary movie thing, I would have got it, but Devil's Rejects, I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. Anyway, remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.